Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Linda Ralston. I'm an instructor of the CTLE Cyber Pedagogy course and an associate professor at the University of Utah. I have been teaching at the U since 1991 and teaching online since 1999. I appreciate your taking the time to check out this introductory tech tip on accessibility for learning. The purpose of this short tech tip is to help educators ensure that their course materials are equally accessible to all their students. We have made tremendous strides to ensure everyone has access to our academic facilities at the University of Utah, but I question if we have taken the steps necessary to make our course materials equally accessible. Just as we will not tolerate staircases, curbs, or other barriers to our campus facilities, we should be equally adamant about ensuring access to the materials we utilize in our courses. It should be important no matter who you are or how you deliver your course material, simply because it is the right thing to do. But of course, the Americans with Disabilities Act ensures equal opportunity to users with disabilities, and Section 508 addresses electronic and information technology and stresses the ways and standards that it should be accessible to people with physical, sensory, or cognitive disabilities. Therefore, any electronic files distributed via the web or distributed as PDF files on email, or for that matter, interactive forms on the web, need to be made equally accessible for learners with disabilities. What does your classroom look like today? Regardless of whether we are teaching in a classroom, online, or in a blended setting, students today are often seen with a laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone, or maybe even several of those things, at their fingertips. Even when I teach in the classroom, I still post my syllabus, e-readings, lecture notes, study questions, assignment instructions, and a master calendar on my Canvas Learning Management System course materials. I send out weekly announcements, conduct quizzes, accept assignments, and post grades via Canvas. But have you ever wondered how this might challenge a learner with a disability? For example, how does a learner with a sight impairment read the assigned electronic books or readings at the library? Have you thought about that before you assign them? How does a student with a hearing impairment listen to your recorded lectures? How does a student with a physical disability navigate your Canvas course pages? But I'm getting ahead of myself. We can't cover all those things in a short tech tip, so I'll be coming back several times with additional information for you. In this short tech tip, I would like to clarify a few key terms and concepts. The first word I'd like to make sure we all are on the same page about is accessibility. What is accessibility? According to the Office of Civil Rights Compliance Review, accessible means a person with a disability is afforded the opportunity to acquire the same information, engage in the same interactions, and enjoy the same services as a person without a disability in an equally effective and equally integrated manner with substantially equivalent ease of use. Whew, that's a mouthful. Let me simplify that for just a moment. Accessibility simply refers to something that is obtainable or attainable. Simply, how easy can something be used or obtained by all of our students? Primarily, I am referencing assistive devices such as a screen reading device. There's many of them. For the instructor, the challenge is to remove the obstacles that prevent these accessibility tools from functioning effectively. In many cases, these challenges are relatively simple to overcome. I'll share a couple of those in this presentation, but sometimes the solutions require some additional thought and skills, which I will go over in future tech tips. There are a wide variety of assistive devices available to help learners of all abilities to access learning materials. The question is, do instructors consider your role in making course materials equally accessible for students who utilize these assistive devices? Unfortunately, we can create major obstacles if our electronic environment, such as our websites and our electronic documents, are not structured for use by assistive devices. Let me use just a couple of examples. 1. Say you have a student in your class who has a severe visual limitation, or perhaps they are blind. How will they access your electronic course materials, such as a PDF, your Canvas pages, and or ebooks, using a screen reader? Okay, a screen reader talks to the user with synthetic speech. It provides feedback to users to interact with an electronic document. The key is they may be able to read that electronic document, but if it does not have structural tags on it, everything is of equal importance. Do you, for all of your students, put everything in the same font and with no headlines, no subheadings? If you don't, the key is that equal with a student who won't be able to see that? You may wonder where you should begin. I suggest that you become aware of the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, commonly called WAG, WCAG 2.0 from the World Wide Web Consortium, or otherwise known as the W3C. They provide the next generation of guidelines for accessible design. This standard consists of 12 guidelines, which can be summarized into 4 areas of perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. I will be reviewing the standards in upcoming tech tips with demonstrations, but to keep it short, I don't have time to go over all of them today, so I'm going to give you 1 or 2 suggestions that you can do with very little technology skills. The perceivable standards or guidelines requires that information and user interface components must be presentable to users in ways they can perceive. For example, providing text alternatives for non-text content such as images, charts, tables, and graphs. Screen reader programs cannot read images. It can only read text or the alternative text tags that a web designer or instructor associates with an image. For a student who is totally or nearly blind, items like color and dense text are not differentiated by the screen reader. However, a well-organized page with clear and meaningful text is important. This will be essential for the student with learning or with cognitive disabilities also. You can provide captions and alternative text presentations for audio and video content, such as closed captioning and text transcripts. As you can see here, I have an image with a caption that explains what it is. So I would make sure that is in my page so the students can see through a screen reader what that image is. You may also make your content adaptable and available to assistive technologies, making sure things have sufficient contrast or making alternate presentations available. As I just mentioned, if I have an audio lecture, I make sure that I provide alternative ways that they can perceive what's on them. So I may do color slides. I may also have notes, and I'll attach an example of that to the presentation. But as you can see here, in the area that I have highlighted, you can see that I have broken these down to small areas, and I provide alternatives so that the students who are taking and listening to this lecture may benefit of the same information. Another tip, these are things that you can do without really much effort. Try never to use flashing text. I used to try to get my students' attention by having something that would be animated. Please don't do that. or moving graphics unless that animation is necessary to illustrate important information. Such an animation such as showing how a machine works, or even how something in anatomy, the heart, pumps blood. These may be great illustrations, but it's best to place the animation on a separate page so that it only operates once rather than repeating over and over again. Avoid using background images behind your text. It makes it difficult for people with sight impairment to view the text. Make sure there's good contrast between the color of the background and the color of the text. Simple things that we can do. The key that I hope you're checking on this is asking yourself, are your course materials accessible? And if they're not, you should check and see what you can do to make all of your materials equally accessible for students of all abilities. I'll be doing a series of these, as I previously mentioned, and you can come back and check them. I'll be posting them through the TechTips for Teachers on CTLE's webpage, so check back. You may find something that you can use to help make your course better for all students. If you just cannot wait for further tech tips and you want additional help with Canvas or learning how to do something with your courses, please check out the resources available to you through the Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence or for the Teaching and Learning Technologies. You can see their information here for their email, their phone, the website, and they're all located in the Marriott Library on the first floor in room 1705. Thank you. Have a great day.